Right now, we're here at the Edison Hotel, and we're going to meet an American expat who would rather live here in Malaysia than where he's from in the US. We're talking about that over afternoon tea. Malaysia was part of the British Empire up until 1957, so afternoon tea is an absolute treat here. Welcome, Ben.
Hi, nice to see you.
So have you been here to Penang before?
I've been maybe 5 or 6 times.
You're the expat voice of Malaysia. You are the one, and you said you not only want to show Americans Malaysia, but you're building a bridge for Malaysians to understand other cultures, you feel.
Yes, very much. Yeah, I think it's such a growing expat scene in Malaysia, especially in KL. It's like, I think in the last year, I didn't come to Malaysia prior to that, but hearing what locals say, it's becoming like exponentially more, you know?
You think Malaysia's finally getting the international recognition it deserves?
I think so, yeah.
It's always been Bangkok.
Yeah.
Tell me why you think Malaysia is superior to Thailand.
I think Thailand has become almost overpopular, a little overcrowded, getting progressively more expensive, and maybe is known to attract a certain type of tourist, certain type of expat, like a more of a party-centric expat, less of a family-oriented person. So the people who are not looking for that, the people who are a little more composed, a little bit more, not that Malaysia doesn't have that. If you do want to go out, you want to have drinks, no problem. But I think there's less of an image of that type of thing going on here. And a lot of expats are attracted to that.
Who was the presidential candidate who lost? He said, I didn't win a majority, but I got the thinking man's vote. That's Malaysia.
It's good.
Yeah.
It's good.
So what motivated you to want to leave the US in the first place?
I think growing tension amongst the people there, the dividedness, the government issues going on. I think it's just a mess. I think overall, it's a stressful place to live. Financially, it's more difficult. You get a lot less for your money there. I think that's like the most attractive things for me, for a lot of people. It's like, oh, you can level up your lifestyle, but you could spend less. And maybe the people around you are more friendly, more, more nice, more interesting. So
it's been interesting in the last 5 or 6 months watching that transition from Biden to Trump, and everyone takes their sides. If you didn't vote for Trump, now the country's going to hell. If you did vote for Trump, it's perfect, and why don't you and I both rush back?
Yeah.
And yet, doesn't it feel a lot more harmonious here with the same multiculturalism?
In general, it just feels like people are not constantly getting political about things. At least with me, people are not really picking at you for your decisions or for the way you speak, for things, different words you might say. And that's something that in the US, especially where I'm from, in New York, it's like such a thing where no matter what you say, you're going to offend somebody. Somebody's going to have a problem with what you're saying. And so
they're looking to take offense.
They're looking to take offense every day. And that doesn't happen. It hasn't happened here once, since I arrived. So it's refreshing. I grew up in Philadelphia, so around 2 hours from New York. I had quite a good upbringing in the US. I enjoyed the US in my younger years. I'd say my early teen years. And as I started to come of age, maybe 18, 19 years old, exposed to the internet, YouTube, seeing that there's more out there. I always from around 18 years old got this idea that I want to start traveling. Let's see what else is out there. So at age 20, I took a trip to Europe. We had a group of maybe 30 people from New York, all together in one flight, one Airbnb. So it was a very cool experience. Went to Croatia, Amsterdam, to Berlin. And from that trip, I was like, okay, I need to figure out how to move here or get out of the US. And then from the 24, I came to Southeast Asia, went to Bali. Bali was back then, I'd say, a little less crazy, a little less developed. And to me, it felt like this haven, it was like an eye-opening, crazy cultural difference. The motorbikes, the friendly nature of the locals. It was like, well, this is where I want to move, And so since then, I had the idea to move to Asia. Yeah.
This is a part of the world that's optimized for kindness.
Yes.
Not even niceness, but kindness, I think.
Yes.
And did you feel that moving first to more well-known places, first in Europe, then in Bali, Do you feel that the further you went, you realized, hey, the next step, which might be a Kuala Lumpur or a Penang, it felt more attainable?
Yeah, it felt like that was the bridge, that was the stepping stones to get here.
Is that what you advise people? Like, if you would have come directly to Malaysia, do you think you would have been comfortable?
I think so, because actually Malaysia is a bit less of a culture shock. It's a little bit more similar to what I'm used to, the developed nature of it. You know, I think somewhere like Bali, Thailand, Vietnam, these places are a little bit more rough around the edges, a little more dirty, you could say, and maybe not as comfortable. And so I think if I would have found this place first, I would have been like, well, what is this place? Why does nobody talk about this place?
That is something I think a lot of people need to take into account. What is the culture shock? And so in some ways, Mexico is very similar to the US.
Yeah.
In some ways, you know, Ireland is maybe a place someone from Boston or Philly should go to, because that's not that different.
Yeah.
But, you know, Malaysia being English speaking, you know, it does not feel as different, I think, as people would imagine.
Yeah.
What do you see as the difference between Penang and KL?
Penang's a little bit slower pace, you know, and I don't even think KL is that intense of a big city. Some people find it intense, especially if you're from a rural area, you know, or if you come from Singapore or somewhere like this, you may think KL, oh, well, this is a little bit hectic, the traffic. To me, from New York, it's not.
So it's 8 million people, which is about the size of New York, but it just feels, yeah, there's something about it that feels more calm. And this is even more calm.
This is even more calm. So it is nice to come to Penang and take a step back. Like, I was just going for a walk last night around maybe 11 p.m. and it was so quiet. And I'm still in Georgetown, maybe 15 minutes from this hotel. And it was just like so quiet that I was like, I haven't felt this feeling in a long time. This is actually quite nice.
Peace and calm.
Yeah.
Good afternoon. We would like to offer you some teas. We actually serving some black teas like organic Earl Grey, English breakfast. We also have green teas like jasmine green tea. We have organic citrus green tea. We also have Japanese sencha. And lastly, we also have chamomile green teas as
I
well.
think for a proper afternoon tea, I think an organic Earl Grey sounds wonderful. Does that work for you?
Sure.
What do we have here?
Okay, this is kueh muih, what we usually have with our tea. It's our afternoon or evening tea. So this is what I grew up with. I can't explain each one of them to you because I still don't know how to make them. Ask me again in 5 years' time. But
She makes a mean laksa, though.
yeah,
What's
I
that?
tried
She
it.
smoked me on the laksas.
Laksa.
It's like a soup or a bowl.
It is, yeah. Okay.
So this is a proper Malaysian afternoon tea.
Yes.
You can come to other hotels and you can get sort of the British traditional coronation chicken,
Right.
crumpets. What's a haw flakes?
That looks like a
What is
firework.
this
Get your
made
hoff.
of?
It looks like
It's
a
not
firecracker.
firework. It's one of our like candies here.
This is
in
such a
Malaysia.
throwback.
Yeah, it is.
Hoff-
I haven't had this since I was like, what, 7, 8?
Can you explain the name Haw Flakes? Because
Yeah.
in English it sounds interesting.
It was a candy invented by Sir William Haw III.
One of the only things I can really eat, like that's Malaysian food, I would say, is like nasi kandar I can have, because I can pick and choose.
You see?
Yeah. But no fried. So like
Okay.
the curries, like some vegetables. No nasi. So
No nasi.
Nasi
so it's
kandar
just
without them.
tandar.
yeah, kandar. Exactly.
Okay.
How do you manage being away from your family? Because they're not here with you. That's a concern a lot of people have.
I mean, I find it's difficult. I'd say at first, when you first move overseas, maybe it's going to be something to get used to, figure out the balance of, you know, how often are we going to video call, how often are we going to text, sorting that out. But I think you come to a balance of, you know, once a week or whatever it is, however close you are with your family. I say for me, I mean, I'll speak once or twice a week, you know, just by text, and we'll have a call, 1 hour or something. But I'm used to it. I've been traveling around for the last 10 years. I've been like sort of nomadic, let's say, doing freelance stuff, now a YouTuber. So yeah, I'm used to it.
All right, okay, so tell us what this is. Is that just
That's
like
rice.
gula?
And on top of it, that's rice.
Right.
And then on top of it, is it pandan?
That's
it's
strict-
pandan.
oh, that's
it's
pandan.
flavor.
Honestly, the tea is really good. Like, well,
Okay.
to me,
Give
this
us
is
more than that.
no, but to me, this is like a treat, like almost like dessert. Like when to the average person, it's like, oh, this is not sweet. This is so like subtle and barely tastes like
Yeah.
anything. I drink water all the time, so to me, this tea is like a treat.
Okay, I'm
You
not
know?
sure if I'm supposed to be happy for you or like sad.
So I think it was sad.
It keeps getting worse.
Right?
Sad.
You grew up in a highly dysfunctional environment.
Highly dysfunctional.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, my dad was a drug dealer, but maybe I shouldn't say that on the video, and my mom was a waitress, and they were separated. So I was constantly going back and forth. You know, when I go to my dad's, I was kind of in this crazy world where he's had friends over, but they were partying all the time from a young age. And so, yeah, rather dysfunctional.
Was there a fear that, like, from you or from him, that you would, like, continue in that line of work? Was that something that you thought about?
I think it was definitely his fear that, like, the way he would say it, and this was a huge cope, was like, I'm just showing you how not to live. You know, that
Right.
was his excuse for, like, continuing it.
But he was self-aware enough to realize you shouldn't do this.
Yes, 100%. He was always self-aware enough to know he lives like a idiot.
Really?
Yeah,
And did you realize that from an early age?
I did, yeah. And the parents were always against each other very much, so
Yeah.
they were in my ear about the other one, you know, and so I kind of had to use
They
my
played
own-
you in the middle.
They played me in the middle, yeah. The only benefit was 2 Christmas, separate Christmas and type situations,
okay.
you know, and they wanted to spoil me to look better, you know, so that was a plus. But otherwise, I think it helped me harden up. It helped me to become who I am and, like, sort of raise myself and mature early. Thankfully, I have a brother who I think struggles a little bit more with it. I had good grandparents who were like my saving grace, you know, very like Catholic people, very, very good, very much wanted to steer me in the right direction. So I think that was
Yeah, it went from good Catholics to drug dealers
yeah.
and then back.
I think maybe, you know, it's the type of thing where if it's too good, too religious, too something, maybe they go the other way, you know. They went the other way.
Really?
Yeah.
It's like the rebellious nature.
The rebellious thing, yeah.
Did that motivate you to say, I want to get out of this environment, and it's not just enough to move down the block or to a suburb, I need to move to another country?
100%.
Yeah.
Initially, I never recognized, oh, this is why I think I want to
Yes.
go far overseas. But looking back, yes. I think a lot of people nowadays, they want to escape from a problem. Yeah, of course, you realize at some point, once you're overseas, the problems don't go away just because you're overseas. You still maybe have to deal with them internally or something. But it's helpful, I would say, especially if your surroundings, your environment is not good. It's definitely a good way to get yourself into a better environment.
If you're in a toxic environment and you remove yourself from that, even if you're just in an environment where people bother you,
Yeah.
like, hey, when are you coming to my son's christening? I think a lot of those people just cut ties when you move overseas. You lose a lot of the bad relationships.
They go away.
They just don't, they figure, hey, that's a bridge too far.
Yeah.
Now that you're more self-aware about this for yourself, do you want to go back and deal with it? Or you're saying, I'm happy where I'm at in Malaysia?
No, yeah, I think like everything's fine now, let's say. You know, I don't think it's something I would need to go back and deal with. I think things also have leveled out, and it was helpful to get out of it and kind of distance away from it to kind of better the relationships. I think
Right.
it was more helpful than being around it and kind of being at each other's throats,
Yeah.
maybe, you know.
But being away from it and resolving it, you don't think, okay, now it's safe to go back. You still think there's a fundamental reason that I'm here in Malaysia, and that's worth staying for.
Yeah, I think ultimately I am still much more happy here, and I don't have any desire to move back to the States. It's the last thing I'm ever thinking about. I'd like to visit maybe 1 or 2 weeks to New York. That'd be great, you know, but other than that, I have no desire to move back to the States.
Do you still try and convince people in New York why Malaysia is better than what they expect, or you've just given up on that?
I would say I've almost given up. You know, people are surprisingly, their world is surprisingly small in America to where they are very stuck in their ways. As you know, a lot of Americans don't leave or will only go short distance, you know. The idea of Americans moving to Asia or even traveling to Asia is pretty, I'd say it's new and it's like very rare still, for sure. Even from New York, it's like the people around me haven't been to Asia. It's very rare.
Yeah. Well, that's one of the reasons we keep Nomad Capitalist live here, is I think it's a great chance for all of our audience to come to a place I've believed in for a long time
That's
and
great.
see it for themselves. You'll be there,
Yeah.
Ben. Good to see you here in Penang.
Thank you. Good to see you.